Coach, why don't you start with an opening statement, and then we will take questions for the students.
First off, I want to congratulate Minnesota on the season that they had. And even tonight, they were undermanned. And you prepare and you get the game time and EJ Stevens is not available. And you play 5 guys. And those guys, they fought the entire season. And I don't know if Big Ten voting and stuff gets out there. It probably doesn't. The awards do. But Ben Johnson got one of my votes for Conference Coach of the Year because of what he's done, how his team played the entire season, what they did, how they were in games, the stuff that he runs out of timeouts. He got one of my votes, and hats off to them. But, I'm proud of these guys for how they played, how we battled, and we're excited to move on and play again tomorrow.
We will take questions for Jalen and Sam. We'll start on the right-hand side. Please state your name and affiliation.
John Sauber, Center Daily Times. Jalen, it looked like you were sort of getting in the zone there in the second half, and then you started talking a little bit coming down the court after you made that step back three. Were you starting to feel it then that you were taking over offensively?
Yeah, they were going under a lot of ball screens and different things. So, I made that shot and I was more talking to myself like, good shot, just keep going. Sometimes you got to do that to try and get your own energy when you're tired.
We'll go in the middle here.
Dan Angel, Pittsburgh Sports Now. Speaking of being tired, it looked like you guys took advantage of their fatigue a little bit in the second half to find some good looks and slowly build your cushion.
Jalen, you take that?
Definitely. Coach Shrewsberry does a great job with the game plan. We knew we wanted to tire Penn and those guys play a lot of minutes. So we knew as the game goes on, we were going to make it run. We just had to keep following the game plan.
Any other questions for the students? Okay, we'll go back on the right-hand side.
Sam, you got switched on to a couple bigger guys, especially Jamison Battle a few times, but sort of fought through it. What is sort of the level of buy-in that you've taken defense, especially later in the season?
You really just listen to the game plan, like Jalen said. We go into every game knowing who's like the top 2 guys offensively, who's the team's feet, and so we knew going into the game they were going to try to attack some of our smaller guys because we play small lineup, and Coach Hughes just been reiterating all week, just fight them. It was one point in time I asked Hughes if we can just not switch, and he said no, just keep fighting, and I did a pretty good job, and we got them out of that set.
Go all the way on the left-hand side.
Hi, Ryan from Greater Than the Game. Sam, as you guys are now in the tournament, in your last year, how do you want to look back on the season and on your legacy at Penn State?
I just want to win, with this group of guys. Obviously you want to win every year, but Coach Hughes said it in the beginning of the year. This is like the last chance. This is the only chance you get with the group of guys that's in the room. We got some seniors who's John, Greg, Jaheim, who's not going to be here next year. And this is the last chance we get to win with this group in particular, so just want to live in the moment and win with this team and, hopefully just be remembered as a winner.
We'll take a few more. We'll go in the middle.
Down the stretch, you guys looked really comfortable in this situation, kind of another gritty game that's been kind of your MO all year. How did the experiences that you guys have been through this season help you close this one out?
Jalen?
It was really important for us. Coach put up before the game, we had so many close games. I think it was 9 close games or under 6 points or something like that. So we've been in this spot before, and we got a lot of seniors, so we felt really comfortable and we were connected and we knew what we needed to do every time down the floor on offense and defense.
We're going to go to a Zoom question from David Eckert. David, your line should be open here. David, you have.
Sorry,
David.
unmuting difficulty. But I guess for Jalen, it looked like as John kind of asked, you had some success after that three, where you were kind of talking to yourself. What does that do for you emotionally, right? With talking to yourself, trying to get yourself into it. How does that impact you to kind of help you, I guess, feed off your own words?
It's important, just trying to go on to the next possession. I made a couple mistakes defensively, and Coach Shrews got on me, and I'm better than that. And sometimes I get in my own head, so I gotta let it go sometimes. But sometimes I use it as motivation to just keep going and keep pushing through.
I was encouraging you.
All right, Jalen and Sam, thank you. Congratulations again. You guys can return to the locker room, and we will continue with questions for Coach Shrewsberry. If you do have a question for Coach, please raise your hands.
Micah, you guys went to the ball denial with Peyton Willis quite a bit there. What made you go to that decision, and how do you feel like you guys executed there, given it sort of opened things up for Jamison a little bit with the spacing?
Yeah, they I mean, if you allow him to get comfortable, which we saw in game one, he just killed us. He killed us. He got the shots he wanted. He hit Curry where he wanted to have it. Like, he just tore us apart offensively. So we did it a little bit in second time we played him. And then tonight we just had those guys pick him up full and tried to pressure him as much as possible. And it still opens you up to Curry's pops, but the further out he was on the floor, now Curry's catching it a little bit out further on the floor. Now he's not in the spot where he's comfortable catching it and shooting it where they killed us the last time. So that's why we extended it a little bit further. I thought Dahlia and Sam did a good job of picking him up, and then we switched it some with certain matchups with Pickett late and just try to keep different guys on him to mix it up.
We'll go to a question all the way on the left.
Austin Groff, Com Radio, Penn State Com Radio. My question for you, Coach, is there's a couple games this season where you guys were stagnant in the first half, struggling to get going, especially against Rutgers, Northwestern at home on senior night. But what do you tell your team, especially with Seth on you doesn't hit a field goal? What do you tell your team when they're not hitting those shots?
Yeah, there were a lot more games where we were stagnant in the first half as well. You just named the conference, but we don't have time for that. We just talked about at halftime, I felt like we played a little bit rushed, right? We see what they do, right? We prepare for what they do. And then you try and attack it. But sometimes it takes a little bit of time to see if they've changed something or to kind of settle into the game. I didn't feel like we settled into the game in the first half. We were playing pretty fast. We weren't allowing our screeners to get in the right position. We missed some shots around the rim that we usually make. So we just talked about really slowing down in the second half. And if you look at us throughout the season, the last 10 minutes of the game was when we play our best offense. And you get to that point, and I feel like we know where exactly we're attacking, what shots we want to get, how they're guarding us, and we really settle into the game. And hopefully our defense can keep us there until we get to that point. And it usually does. It usually does. I'd love for us to play a lot better early on, but as long as it takes until we start clicking, that's what we usually do.
We're going to go to Andrew Clay on the Zoom.
Hi, it's actually Anderly. Andrew's anchoring right now. But Micah, you guys haven't won on the road since I think Northwestern. What was the mental block, maybe to get over any hurdles that may have subsided since then?
I don't know. I think we've played well at times on the road. We haven't played 40 minutes consistently. We've played in stretches. We've usually hurt ourselves with turnovers in those segments, usually in the first half, where, now we're a little bit sluggish or we're behind, and then we get down some and we have to waste our energy fighting back or climbing back. But our guys stay with it. I told them before the game, and I showed them, I was actually watching the Nebraska Northwestern game, and they said we had we led the Big Ten with 9 losses, 6 points or fewer. And, one, like, that's tough, like, to lose those games, but it also shows you how resilient this group is, that you keep bouncing back. It'd be easy to just say, we're going to mail it in on the road, but they fight back and they scratch and they claw and they do what they need to do to get it to a close game and then give ourselves a chance at the end. So that's what we want to continue to do. We live to fight another day. And if it's close, we'll feel comfortable because we've been in a lot of close games this year.
We'll go to Daniel Gallen on the Zoom. Your line is open, Daniel.
Hey, Micah, Jalen Pickett, 22 points tonight, and he looked especially locked in the second half. What did you kind of make of his performance overall tonight? And then especially in the second half down the stretch, what did you kind of see out of him tonight?
He's a good player. Like, if you go through and look, when I got the stat packet at the end of the season so I could do my all conference voting, you look at leading scores in our conference, and he averaged about 14. Like, his name's in that list right in the middle. You look at blocks, you look at steals, you look at assists, you look at assist to turnover ratio. The guy's all over the place in terms of what he does. He's played that way pretty much the entire season, right? He was slow out of the gates and he struggled a little bit early, but once he got comfortable, he's played that way. He's a good player. He's a good player, no matter what level you come from or where you went to originally. If you can play, you can play, and he can play. He plays at his own pace. He gets where he wants to go. He makes tough shots. Like, he scores around the basket. They go under him. He steps back. He hits a three. He makes the pass to John there late when he jumps up like he's going to shoot and dumps it down to him. Like, that's savvy. That's understanding the game. That's understanding the situation. The guy doesn't get rattled, and the guy never comes out of the game, and he doesn't complain one bit. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of heart. And he's a competitor. He's a warrior.
We'll go to Mark Brennan on the Zoom.
Micah, you only played 7 guys. I wonder how you go about handling the next 24 hours or so heading into the next game in terms of guys kind of getting to where they need to be physically and rest-wise and that sort of thing. Thanks.
Yeah, we trust our guys. We have great support staff, and we got our guys out of here as quickly as possible, and to get back to the hotel to eat and then start the recovery process. And it's something that we were expecting to come here and win and play tomorrow, right? So we've had this in our mind of what our plan's going to look like and how we're going to get ready to play this next game. And my expertise is not that, right? But you hire good people, and then you allow them to work. And Justin and Greg will do a great job getting our guys ready. We'll go and walk through our game plan, our scouting report. We'll get our guys off their feet, and we'll come in here. And the one thing is, no matter if they're tired or not, I guarantee they're going to come in here and fight tomorrow.
All right, we're going to take 2 final questions in person on the right and then in the middle, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Micah, to piggyback off what Daniel asked, when do you sort of notice Jalen getting into those sets and getting down into the post more, and when do you sort of start to make the concerted effort to get him the ball in those situations?
Yeah, you look at it, and it might be something that you see early, but you can't go to it exclusively, right, and give them a time to adjust. Right? There's some things you got to keep, you got to hold. Like, you see something, like we may run something. We ran a play at the start of the game, and Dalian got a wide open shot, right? I'm like, we're going to hold this and run again in the second half, right? If I run it back to back, they're going to know how to guard it. They're going to think about it, right? They're going to figure out what to do. Same thing with Pickett and those post ups or whatever it may be. You just got to hold some things and wait a little bit and be patient. Like, if you do it before halftime a bunch, now they got halftime to talk about it. Now they got this. Like, if you wait a little bit, right, now they don't have as many times to get in the huddle and meet and talk about what they're doing and change up, to different things. So we got a lot of tricks. I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve. I know it doesn't look like it when we're balling out and getting 60 points or 52 points or whatever it may be. But every once in a while, I'll throw a few tricks out there. We'll get a bucket.
We'll finish with a question in the middle.
Micah, you touched on how your offense really steps up in the final 10 minutes. On the other side of the ball, you hold Minnesota to 2 for 12 shooting, if my numbers are correct, over the final 8 minutes. What do you credit that performance from your defense to?
We've guarded like that all year. All year. Our guys, our assistant coaches do an unbelievable job of getting them ready. Like Adam Fisher had our guys ready. Like we're watching film and they're calling out what's coming next. And, you know, Mike Farrelly has tomorrow and he'll have our guys ready the same exact way. They do a great job of getting these guys ready. And then it's all about our discipline defensively, right? When you see me like lose my mind or it looks like I'm losing my mind, I know it looks like that a lot, but it's usually things that we control defensively that we don't do. When we do what we can control, we're really good defensively. We make people take tough shots. We give them one shot and we go rebound it. And our guys have done that all season. And they just dig in deeper and deeper and as the game goes on. And, you know, you just keep wearing on people and wearing on people and wearing on people. And hopefully you're taking their legs. Now, some of those open threes, it just doesn't quite feel the same, right? That was an old, like Brad Stevens, this guy I used to work for. He used to always say that you just take away what they want to do best, right? You just squeeze the life out of people. And now the one time they get that open three, they haven't seen it all game. And it usually doesn't go in, right? Because they're not getting that shot that they normally get every single time. That's what our guys are doing. They're just taking away A and making you go to B. And then we're guarding B as tough as possible and making you go to C. And now you're not working on C. That's a shot you've never practiced in your life. And now we're contesting that shot. We're challenging that shot. And we're hitting people on the glass. And then we're going down the other end.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.